If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, it's possible you've been living under a rock. But if you haven't been living under a rock and you still don't know who Andrew Tate is, basically he's this guy, very controversial. He says a lot of controversial statements. He's basically just an all-around not great dude. Some like teenage kids rally around him because they're like, yeah, let's be manly and misogynistic and let's be awful people. And it's just not good. Anyway, apparently he got arrested, so let's just get into it.
I wasn't going to make another video about Andrew Tate, mostly because the content around Andrew Tate is very repetitive and boring, plus it just makes the bald man richer anyway, so what's really the point? But much like a messy shit, every time I look down at the toilet paper, Andrew Tate is still there, and today's shit is especially messy and worth talking about because it's official that Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on human trafficking charges alongside his brother. And the fun part? It is all thanks to Greta Thunberg.
Whoa. Okay, so huge allegations. Human trafficking. I don't even know, like, I can't even say anything to that. Like, human trafficking is awful. I mean, not really surprised, honestly, that Andrew Tate is caught up in that kind of stuff. This girl, Greta, isn't she the one who, like, gave that crazy speech in front of the UN speech? Where she was, like, crying?
Greta, your first climate strike was a lonely event a little over a year ago. And in the intervening time, you have sparked the interest of millions, literally, of children around the globe.
Okay, this is probably copyright, but...
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal...
Okay, so this is the same girl. Yeah, I mean, climate change is bad. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, okay, same person, okay. Why does she look younger in this?
A climate activist from a few years ago. She was like the 15-year-old. It's her. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, it might sound a bit familiar that Andrew Tate had something with the law and human trafficking, and that's because in April of 2022, earlier this year, his entire compound was raided by the Romanian police. Now, he said it was like a swatting thing and had nothing to do with human trafficking, and the story kind of died down, and no one really knew what was going on. But now, thanks to some of the stories that were posted by Alejandra on Twitter, we seem to have a better picture. There was a tip to the U.S. Embassy by a boyfriend of an American woman who alerted the embassy that she was being held against her will.
There's a tip by
Embassy, but on Twitter, we seem to have a better picture. There was a tip to the U.S. Embassy by a boyfriend of an American woman who alerted the embassy that she was being held against her will by Andrew Tate. And the story goes like this. American woman's dating this guy. Andrew Tate hits her up on social media, says, hey, I'll fly you out to Romania. She took the flight because I guess he's rich and bald and she likes those things. And he showed her a good time until he forced her to work as a video chat model, or at least she felt threatened and forced to work as a video chat model. And she contacted her ex and was like, hey, I fucked up. I made a mistake. And then he contacted an embassy, a U.S. embassy in Bucharest, the capital of Romania. And very quickly, they realized this is kind of like organized crime and we're crossing countries here.
Dang. Okay, so girl goes over because she's like, oh, screw my boyfriend. He doesn't have enough money. Andrew Tate reached out to me. And then she is forced to be on camera and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, this sounds like Andrew Tate's been doing this for a while. To me, surprised he hasn't been caught, or that other people haven't spoken out about this. Kind of unnerving.
This is a bit of a big deal. And if you don't know, most human trafficking comes from somebody who you might know. There's like a literal strategy in human trafficking of lover boy, like trying to lead people into a certain area. And so this tip originally came in April, but the authorities just now had enough evidence to actually book and charge the Tate brothers and put them into custody. Proves, a bit of a point here. Why Andrew Tate moved to Romania in the first place. This is a direct quote from him, by the way. If corruption exists, which it does, Let us all play. I like living in a society where my money, influence, and power means I'm not below or beholden to any of these bullshit laws. I mean, here's a clip of him on a podcast. Just listen. Does this...
That's crazy. I mean, totally sounds like something he would say. But, like, this is what he meant? This is awful.
sound like somebody who moved to Romania to do maybe some nefarious things? I think maybe.
There are countries in the world where there's a really interesting, delicate balance of a government and a police force which are not strong. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying I'm breaking the law. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying that minor infractions or tiny things are not going to be, I'm not going to be persecuted to the end of earth I would in the UK for a parking ticket.
Yeah, it's
right?
mad because they
So it sounds like he went to Romania and that's where he resides because maybe the police are a little more relaxed. Maybe he's able to bribe some of the officials there. Maybe he can do some things that he wouldn't be able to do in the UK or US that he feels like the politicians in those areas can do.
That's awful. And he's saying it's like minor infractions and everything. It's human trafficking, dude. Like that's not minor infraction. That's holding people against their will, usually for like sexual reasons. That's not a minor infraction by any means at all.
Now, what does this have to do with Greta Thunberg? Well, let's talk about Andrew Tate being unbanned on Twitter. Now, I didn't make a video about this because who fucking cares? It's twitter.com. But it's true. Elon Musk unbanned Andrew Tate after 5 years. And part of his unban was a little conversation with Greta Thunberg, who is on Twitter. And here's how the interaction went. Andrew Tate randomly tweeted at Greta, said, "Hello, Greta. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a cool engine. I don't know. I drive a goddamn Subaru Sandbar from 97.
And he also drives a little scooter all over the place. So definitely doesn't know anything about cars. Me neither.
My 2 Ferraris also have big engine. This is just the start. Please provide me your email so I can send a complete list of my car collection and the respective enormous emissions." Because she's an activist against climate change, and he's like, I do so many emissions. So many.
Wait, that's actually kind of hilarious. But he's a bad person. Awful person. Kind of a funny joke. Kind of funny. Kind of.
To which Greta replied, "Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com.
Get owned, Andrew. Get owned by a little Greta Thunberg. Thunberg. Dang. He just got served. He just got absolutely destroyed.
To which he replied, "How dare you?" To which I thought was joking, but no, he was mad. He was mad. You can look because he immediately started tweeting a shit ton about Greta. Strange as it may seem, there's a teenager out there who believes your government should tax you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot. And then he also retweeted a bunch of people who were like, Greta's response was actually botted. Also, it's not even a good insult because that's her email. So she has a small dick, actually. And honestly, he's Tate is organically popular, and Greta is like hated. People don't like her. So
wait, people were actually saying that that's a bad comeback because it means that that's her email. So like that's even a worse comeback, dude. Like if you have to come back by saying, "No, that's a bad comeback because that's actually her email." You don't get the joke. You don't get it. You're not funny. No one likes you.
So he's retweeting all these things. He seems very upset. He tweets something totally unhinged in a reply to somebody who said Andrew Tate and Greta should stop flirting and fuck already. And then he said she ain't ready. He's pushing 40. To be clear, she is.
That is awful.
19. I think everyone kind of envisions her as the child she was when she originally did the climate change. But
That's fair. This is literally me. Because I thought this was true.
like it's a little bit bold there, a little bit weird, a little bit creepy.
Very creepy.
And he wasn't done. He was so upset by this ratio from Greta. He also made this Twitter video. And this is the smoking gun. Let's just watch it together. It's a bit cringe, but let's stick through it.
Release some greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online.
I don't know how Andrew Tate gets so many views. Like, the dude's literally like Like, what is this? What is he wearing? It's like a bathrobe mixed with like a kung fu gi with some letters written over it. Like, I don't even I don't even know what this is. Like, where do I place this in my brain? And he's puffing a cigar. What does he think? He's an alpha male?
Controversy is not something I often do. But now, the main
Controversy is not something I often do? Dude, that's the only way you have gotten famous.
mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta.
What was that? What was that about?
Commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta.
Dude, why are you showing your whole chest? Man? What's going on? What's going on, man?
That my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines which run on dead dinosaurs have an enormous emission profile.
Profile. Just thought you should know. Just thought maybe I should add that in. Profile.
And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange.
Pretty obvious that it was just like a bit of a roast and she didn't care to give him the time. But again, going along with the I am not owned is his strategy.
I am not owned. You are owned. Like, it's worse than like kindergartners.
Here.
I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza.
It would be so weird if you were.
Make sure that
All
these
she did was
boxes are
ratio
not
you.
recycled.
Okay, just remember this moment. Remember this moment. He asks for a pizza box, and he says, make sure it's not recycled, which is also fine, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. Cardboard recycling is honestly one of the least effective means of recycling because we have so much excess in cardboard. Still worth recycling your cardboard, but you also can't recycle any dirty cardboard, which oftentimes pizza, if they don't have the
Right, so if it has food on it, you can't even recycle it. So, yeah. It's a pointless thing that he's asking.
wax paper underneath can't even be recycled because it makes the box unusable. It can't actually be recycled.
Right, because you have to have clean paper to be able to remake it into cardboard again, all that, We could watch a video on that at some point.
Thank you. So I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks
I mean, I know these are things that like Andrew Tate talks about all the time. I honestly, obviously, probably am not a part of that group, so I have no idea what he's talking about. But yeah, okay, dude.
she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax you into.
I'll save you the rest of the speech. He kind of goes on to say that climate change isn't real, and that's basically the whole of it. But
Which just isn't true. I mean, I feel like even in Chicago and over the last couple of years, like we've noticed climate change. Our winters have been so much colder than usual, and like our summers have been like absurdly hot in comparison to like the last 10 years. It's just like there's just like easy things you can tell, dude. Also, great. This is a great thumbnail. Like, okay, so like I get it, you know, he has the whole climate change thing that he doesn't want to be a part of, yada yada yada. But just honestly, dude, come on. It's literally science. There's proven fact.
the interesting part about the video were these two pizza boxes that he brought out as some sort of stunt to own Greta because he wasn't recycling. It turns out that the Romanian authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country because he travels so much. And they reportedly used his social media posts, including a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, which confirmed that he was in the country and able to be arrested.
No shot. That's insane. So his video about him like clapping back at Greta is what got him in jail because they used the pizza boxes to show that he was in the country, which means they could arrest him. That's insane.
So all it took was a 19-year-old girl, one ratio, and him trying to unown himself to get arrested by authorities for human trafficking.
Let's go.
I can't think of a larger clown on the internet right now than Andrew Tate.
Anyway, I digress. I was really interested to see what he was talking about, what was going on with that whole situation, because I mean, Andrew Tate's been everywhere, dude. He's you can't get away from him. So anyway, let's see here. We're gonna play some Destiny.
I said, why you begging?